What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Skinny Moose. And we got the ringmaster, Little Sicko, up in the shit now. So let's go ahead and kick it off. What made you become a wrestler?
Pretty much growing up in the business. My dad was a wrestler, and it's all I pretty much ever knew.
I can't find nothing on your dad at all. Like, I asked John, I was like, do you got anything, like, behind the scenes? Because he puts a lot of stuff on his YouTube channel. I'm like, you got anything? He said, like, Little Sicko or Big Sicko? And I'm like, Big Sicko, his dad. And he's like, no, nothing. I was like, Brian, you got anything? No. Kevin, no. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, there's a few guys back in the day that, like VHS and all that. I try to hold to them. They're real shady days, and they don't want to talk to me. So after he passed on, I pretty much lost him and everything he had and everything about him. So all pictures and memories.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if Smart Mark would have anything on him.
But I never checked.
We'll have to check that shit out.
What was it like to win the undisputed IWA Deep South Tag Team Championships at Scatamania?
I feel like that was where love was tag team. To be honest with you, because if you go back to the video and you watch it, I'll fix it where you can see me a little better. If you go back to the video and you watch it, there was so many workers in that match that there was just little room to do anything. If you go back and watch, I stood out on the side for most of it.
Yeah.
Well, thumb. Don't want to take a bump because you're trampled. I felt like a ladder match had a assortment of workers. Somebody was bound to get trampled. So I think that was more luck than anything.
That's the match with you and your brother and Brian White, Blaine Evans, and a few others, ain't it?
Yeah, and then that went to Japan, Levita or something like that.
Yeah, okay. The only ones I really know from that one is you, your brother, Brian White, I think John Ray was in that. Don't quote me, though. I know you was, your brother. I can pull it up, matter of fact, so we can get actual details.
I like your face paint, man. That's cool as heck.
Appreciate it.
How long does that usually take you?
Just this alone took me 30 minutes.
Damn.
Only half a face.
Okay.
Depending on, let's say, full mount on design, it can take 30 minutes.
So do you do all of it yourself?
That I do.
I didn't have the right shit, but I tried. I'm pretty sure you seen. I tried to go as you for Halloween, but I didn't have the right shit. And by the time I realized it, I was like, "Oh fuck," you know. And I was like, "Not my best." And that shit took forever to wipe off. I was in there for like at least 3 hours. Took a shower like 3 different times.
It's a great.
It was the Halloween makeup.
So I've been doing it. Learned it. I quite perfected on getting it to stay, but I kind of it because it also shows that I'm also human too. I'm not just some random freak. I'm not all the weird stories and fears people have of clowns and all that. It's a way to show them also one of you.
Hell yeah! So it was Vava Las Amish. I'm not sure how to really say their name. His name, Circus of Chaos, New Religion, Blaine Evans and Brian White, Jamie Richardson, Jay Blade.
That's quite a matchup.
That's a hell of a fucking ring full. And a lot of high flyers, including you, Jay. I mean, and one of my questions is about your flying corkscrew.
Okay, what you got?
Let me find it. His flying fucking corkscrews are off the wall. I love your flying corkscrews. It's more of a just me telling you.
Okay. Well, I got a question about that. Which one are you referring to? Are you referring to the forward or reverse?
The one where you go up and spin and then put Jamie Richards, I think it was, and
Okay, so you're talking about violent shit cup. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. How about the carousel?
The what?
Twisted carousel.
Yes, sir. It
Can't
was.
yeah,
That is
so,
that.
Did you catch that when Chris Claw said that it was the flying corkscrew?
I didn't. There's so much going on in that moment. You can't hear everything.
I was Squirrel. Did you catch that though?
Bits and pieces. When I watched it, I seen him call it a corkscrew, and I was like, I don't think that's what it's called. I mean, maybe technical terms that's what they call it, but I don't think that's what he calls it.
Terms, it's a corkscrew moonsault. Now,
Oh, that's fucking cool.
true story to that. Um, me and my partner, we had went to a local show about 3.5 hours away, and we ended up working Jay Blade and one other. And mid match, Jay Blade, motioned for me to go up. It's what none of us was playing. Some of us deep south was like to more say walk and talk. Fighting. We're not just scripting everything out. So we like to keep things more. So he motioned to go up, and I get to go for half court. It's all point in time. I had over rotated, and it was one of the smoothest moves.
Fuck yeah.
Next show, Jeff Blade had asked me. He said, "You do that again?" I said, "Oh, the only way we can do it, only way we'll know is if I try it and find out." Nailed it.
Fuck yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So, what made you bite and chew on the razor wire at Carnage Cup 13? We talk about it a lot.
I might be human, but I am still sick and twisted.
I was watching that and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I was like, that fucking the first person I ever seen do it. You was just gnawing at it, and I made a post a while back. I was like, if you're having a bad day, just remember little sicko bite and chewed on razor wire. Everybody laughed at that, and I'm like, that's the most random thing ever.
What do you expect when you see a clown in a full of fuckery?
Well, that is true. That is true.
How did the name Circus of Chaos come about?
I can't take full credit for it. Show that I'm just a normal everyday home show. He had come up with the idea. I had worked my first partner. I have a faction, Circus of Chaos. The sadisto and were the original two, and then that's whenever we brought in Riot, which is the original. He had Asian issues, transport or family issues. Not putting all that out. So I have a brother who was in training, and I finished training him, helped him get enough to save my bookings, having to cancel. And so I brought him in. And more of the story, my booker, he had like, what do y'all want? And he had, chaos, and they are crazy. There you go.
Oh yeah. So, can we hear your story about you and Bryant Woods? We heard his side.
Where do you want me to start specifically?
Well, we heard about how him and your dad had a rivalry, or they had a lot of matches, off stream or whatever. And then he was like, "Well, I watched him grow up. He's like my nephew to me. His dad told me if he ever wants to fight me, make him earn that shit." And I was like, "Okay, this is pretty interesting." And then he goes, "Well, little sicko actually laid down on me in Carnage Cup 13." And I went silent. Brian White goes, "No, he did not." And Bryant Woods goes, "Yes, he did." He said, "I won the match," and he said, "I wasn't going to take that from little sicko." He said, and then I made them restart it. He said, "I beat the fuck out of him, took him on top of the UHaul, and bam." And I'm like, "Oh, shit."
Okay, so he is correct. I want to say 8, 9 when I him. If you like him, Spider, John Rare, a lot of us that were deathmatch business, all uncles to me. Like I said, I grew up in the business. This is all I've ever wanted to do. And whenever I seen him at his Carnage Cup 8, at Don, my brought me to deathmatch show, and he had booked himself the second day because they had somebody no showed. So we drove 2.5 back home to get his, and then come back that same night just to do that show the next day. And it's kind of means. And then seeing Bryant step into that, and that was my first time ever hearing of that or seeing him do anything like that. Like I knew Spy on Rare, and I heard that doing hardcore. I didn't know that was like that. So seeing him do the stuff he did with Spider first round match, just that was it for me.
Oh, yeah, that freaking first round match was, oh, God, him, and I like that U-Haul drive, what he did to Bryant Woods, Spider. I like Spider, rest his soul. He was one of the best legends to come out of the South aside of John Rare.
Yep.
I like how John too.
The back, I don't have the actual photo. If I asked around, I could get it. I'm pretty sure he has it. But that show with him, it looked like he told me out, sold it perfect. 8 years old. That same moment I got when I asked, like, one day I'm gonna do this. Growing up, my mom always told me, "You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it." Everybody said anything about doing it, but you're not gonna do it. It's not that I got a death wish. It's a true for me. Same do it, and I want to carry on. Started.
Yeah, you wanna carry on a legacy. I understand that.
He tipped his toe through the tulips, and now I'm competent.
Yes, sir. I mean, you've been in it. You're young. You're 20. What? 23.
Yep.
You got a bright future ahead of you, and I'll be the first to tell you I'm only a year older than you. I'm 24, so you got a hell of a bright future ahead of you. I mean, you debuted when you was what, 21?
Yeah, Fresh Cup, yes.
Yeah, see, and
Actually, I wasn't even 21 yet because I was curious if I could buy a beer in the local town with no ID. I mean, I got it. I wasn't going to smoke.
been there, done that.
But back to where I was saying, I wanted to smoke when I got older. Holler at him. Same thing with Spider. Unfortunately, he passed before I got the chance with him. I had asked Spider for the chance to get the first chair shot from him because I was, everybody that was working around him at the time was scared of his chair shots. He'd wrap a chair completely around your head, folded around your nose, and everything.
My man was a pig.
I was a brave, ballsy kid. It ran in the blood. So years later passed, time came, and I asked Bryant for the match. So I've asked Blaine, time's coming. It's gonna be a gnarly little match.
Like,
Anyways, he told me that he would talk to Kevin and see what Kevin would say. And first round goes by, and I go over. Okay. And then I think that the second round match, was just going to be a little squash match, filler of the tournament. I didn't think it was going on, keep continuing.
obey.
3 people, 2 people, 4 people. Those are big matches. So I didn't
Yeah.
expect. So I went through and had all 3 matches, or all first 2 matches, and I go to take my tots off, get ready to check. I'll get all this glass out of me and clean up. They walk up. No. You're not done. You're not done. You're going to the finals. What? No. Are you serious? I love doing death matches. I love wrestling. I've wrestled 3 in a night before. I've wrestled 9 times in a weekend before. So that was.
Jesus.
So I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm tired. I'm a little sore, but not really sore, but I'm just kind of drained. It's been a long day. We was camping out there, been out in the sun all day, and we've been pretty much working our tail off.
Yeah.
They told me I was in the match, or going to be in the finals with Necro Butcher and Chewy and Bryant. Knew Bryant was he's a legend and all, but it was due to come. I asked for that.
Yeah.
Not to say I was in the ring with Necro Butcher and Chewy was another, big because they're both legends. Didn't make it too far with neither of those two, but whenever we broke off with Brian, you got to imagine, I listened to y'all's podcast. I heard what he bragged about being number 8 in the Alabama weightlifting competition. Imagine what he could do with 165, because that's what I weigh max.
Jesus.
If you recall,
You're fucking tiny.
if you recall, I had a mohawk back at that show, right?
Yes, and you got drugged by the motherfucker
Do you know why it's gone?
because he drugged you by it.
Oh, he
What?
was slinging those light tubes. He was slinging those light tubes. Like, I had chunks missing. Like, I had a bald spot. That if you look, scar runs all the way clean across my forehead right there.
Oh
That
my god.
I
Oh my.
had any actual cuts that show, but I had little nicks, I had little knacks, I had a piece of glass in my leg or in my knee pad. That's nothing. I walk out, they shine a flashlight over my head after seeing all that blood. My fiance, my mother, everybody's checking on me because I got my little support crew to make sure I'm all right. I don't trust everybody either. They're all checking on me. They're like freaking out, like, dude, your gash open. You need stitches. I'm like, nah, that's nothing. But honestly, they was pretty gnarly. I'm looking back. I'm like, damn, that scar is not going away. That's the one thing I asked for too. I'm willing to do some gnarly stuff. I'm willing to take some gnarly bumps, but try to save my forehead. I am a family man. I can wear clothes and I can cover up some of these other scars. Not that I care. I do not care. I mean, I work construction. We cuss like sailormen, and I walk around pretty much half naked without a shirt all the time at work. So I mean, I'm honestly working on that tan. So I mean, that don't bother scars. The boss man thinks I'm crazy or whatnot. But, I mean, what do you expect to get into this kind of lifestyle? You step in the ring with someone like Bryant, he's gonna take a toll on you. He's gonna give you beating. And getting to that, out of all the wrestlers, I had the utmost more respect for him because, he showed me more of what it's like to get on out there. You're wrestling in a ring with somebody they're gonna take it easier on you. But when you've wrestled somebody that that's been somewhere and done something with themselves, they're gonna give you the beauty they were given out there. They want you to be prepared So that way they want to see, hey, are you still up for the challenge? So, yes, I got respect for Bryant. And
Yes, sir.
for those 3 seconds, I was dazed and confused. Because
Yes, you mentioned that.
he had struck me and struck me and struck me and struck me, and I'm telling him at this point, bring it on. But later on, 2-3 shots later, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can take another, one more of those. And he, I guess, misunderstood me and decided, why go straight for a pin? You can set another spot up or whatever the case. But I did not kick out. So technically, I lost the match at that point.
Yeah.
So, it's a death match. I mean, what do you expect? That was the only time I can't say that's not the only time I was blacked out that show, but that was the
I think I was the biggest one that you blacked out. Like maybe the second round, maybe.
that blackout wasn't so scary to me. The day 2 blackout was worse for me. But I think that about covers all of that particular spot.
Yeah, yeah. That and the day 2. Yeah, with you and Jay. Yeah.
Whenever I got there that day, and I pulled up the night of the show, I pulled up at 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, called my mom. Hey, where's this place even at? I don't have a phone at this point. I ain't had a phone almost 3 years until now, or until a couple months ago. And she gets a hold of the promoter, and finally she tells me at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up sleeping, passed out with a beer in my hand up the road. Get my old lady, drive back down to the place. It was up in a fence. It was some, redneck shit, for professional wrestler. Because that's more of what I'm used to. I wrestled every weekend, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so we go up in there, and me and my old lady, we's tired, 4 o'clock in the morning. We just pulled everything, gimmick-wise, we had in the trunk and threw it out, on the ground. We climbed up in the back of the trunk with the seats laid down, feet at the trunk, and we cuddled up in our blanket. We snuggled up, went to sleep in our trunk.
Hell yeah.
I wake up the next morning, first thing, and it wasn't even 3-4 hours later. I wake up, and I hear a bunch of laughing, chattering, and all this and that. It's cold. I get out and start looking around. Oh my God, this is a hexagon ring. First impression. Turn around and look. They already have the finishing finale spot set up.
Oh shit.
I'm talking about this is as soon as I got up that morning. It was already set up. I'm pretty sure it was set up the night before. But it was so dark I couldn't see. I didn't even see it was a hexagon ring the night before. Anyways, I got to talk to my fiance. I'm like, out of all the stuff I've been asked to do, and if I'm crazy enough to do, what you want to bet? Ain't nobody crazy enough to do that but me.
Actually,
I honestly did not know that was coming until it was time. Not before I knew going into the match, but I didn't know all, the prior to that.
fucking you. I I don't know. Like, I'm gonna ask you right now. If shit. How the fuck do you just take a beating and keep going? I mean, I've seen you and Jamie Richards. I've seen you and your brother. I've seen you and fucking other matches. I've seen you and John Rare and Brian White. I've seen just about all your matches, and in the death matches, I don't want to say you get your ass whooped, but you take a fucking hell of a beating.
It's more of it's one of those things of you start out young, right? You start out young doing simple 4 to 8 job. You graduate high school. You graduate to a 9 to 5. Then you're like, I need more money. So you got to move forward, right?
Yeah,
So it's all progression to me.
I
And
understand.
I had progressed into this more of like I'm used to taking a beating every weekend. I'm used to doing stuff in wrestling. I grew up with a very older. This is the 20th century. You don't see a lot of older fashioned people nowadays.
That's true.
I like to consider my family somewhat older fashioned. We're not. We're up in the 20th century, but I was raised a little bit older fashioned. Fall down, get up. You ain't hurt. I've blood running down both arms, legs. Before even I started death matches, foiler wreck through barbed wire. You don't want to run back to mama telling mama these things. You want to be like, mama, I had a little accident. You want to be cool about it. You don't want her freaking out.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I guess boys got to be boys. So, learn to be tough. You're going to be dumb. You got to be tough.
Yeah, whenever I would get skinned up when I was younger, my uncle would always look at me, cowboy out, pour alcohol on it. You're a man. I'm like, I got a fucking rock in my knee, and his first words were, "You'll survive. It's too far from your heart." I was riding my bike, and of course I can not the wheel twister or whatever. I got a rock in my knee, still in my knee to this day. He over here standing above me, he's like 6 foot. I'm a little kid, and he's like, pour some alcohol on it. You'll be fine. You'll survive. Just do this, and wrap it up, and the next day you'll be all right. Next day I take it off. I'm like, I got a rock in my knee. He's like, well, pull out a knife. And he's like, I can cut it out. I'm like, you leave me the fuck alone. He's like, come on, cowboy up. And then when I busted my head open, he's like, alcohol here. I'm like, what the fuck is up with you and the alcohol? He's like, well, you'll survive. Your heart's here. Your head's here. I'm like, that's something you tell a fucking 13-year-old. My dad's mom, she won't take you to the hospital if you fucking hurt yourself on your own stupidity. She'll look at you. You ain't going to hospital. We got needle and thread.
That's it.
So, mama, tell you don't know doing it, so you took on your own way to the hospital.
Go find super glue.
Yes, sir. Super glue, got tape, toilet paper. We never did paper towels. We done toilet paper.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know it is. You're a juggalo. How long have you been a juggalo?
As far as I can remember. I'm a kid, 3rd, 4th grade, going trick or treating as Violent J. I got it tatted up. It's just a lifestyle for me. I mean, I'm more of an old school Juggalo fan. I don't really care so much for the newer albums. They're not bad, but they're not the same to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of it reminds me a lot of wrestling in a way. Not just crazy music, because that just fits my vibe. I'm wicked, I'm crazy, so that just fits my vibe. But it's more of like referring to the song "Homies." We're all homies in the wrestling business. So that not only are wrestlers like that, but juggalos are like that, and the fact that ICP had their own show, JCW, also should prove the fact that the two can combine. So I mean, it's just
That's true. I mean, we had a lot of y'all wrestled at the gathering. Squirrel has a question on that. And also, it like you just said, it combines hand in hand. You got Brown White Deathmatch Juggalo. You got you, who's a Juggalo. You got Alex Stretch, Necro. A lot of y'all out there at Deep South, actually, 90% of you, your dad, your whole entire stable, we call them stables, your tag team partners.
As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, first time I ever heard ICP, I was digging through my dad's work truck, and I found the CD in the driver's side door. I'm like, Dad, what's this? He said, you don't want to listen to this. I'm like, put it in. Then he and I popped it in. He come out. What did I tell you about this? Then we just jam out going down the road, and it was, pretty much it. Like, I've always been there.
The first song I ever heard by ICP was the Suicidal Hotline.
That's I can't say which one was the first one I ever heard, but that one is rough. I can say that.
Do you have a favorite album by ICP?
Uh, I'd say either the remaster.
Ooh, what you got? Ooh, I like that. Your nickname.
Yeah.
I should have knew that. I should have
Uh,
knew that one.
Toy box.
Ooh,
Ooh, I like this toy.
two of the best fucking albums. But
Definitely.
one of my favorite ICP songs, aside of the one talking about killing a pedophile, my second favorite one is Boogie Woogie.
I don't know. I think I'd like to
Uh,
fuck a ghost.
the what?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I'd like to fuck a ghost.
I like that one too. Damn, there's so many good ones.
Failed when
I,
I
although I
I
don't
like
really,
Dead Body Man by them.
Mm-hmm.
they got a lot of
Hey
good
man, that's
albums though. I mean, they've been around for a while.
There they have. I'm
They've been
glad to
around since what?
know.
The 90s, 89? Maybe off on that.
I'm not too for sure.
And I just watched a video on them the other night. Go ahead, Squirrel.
follow up about the JCW thing. I looked online and I tried to find it, but it don't say that you have ever wrestled at the gathering. If given the chance, would you wrestle at the gathering?
I had my manager had messaged. I want to say, who was it? Um, Give me a second. Wasn't Pondo? I won't say. It might have been Pondo. He had messaged whoever the booker was. Big time worker, deathmatch worker, and yeah. It was Pondo because I told him I met him, and I didn't never meet him per se in the business, but I've met him as a fan. And I'm like, he's a pretty cool dude, and be nice to share a locker room, yada yada. And so he messaged him, see what it was like, and he was asking so much. Like, there's no way that I could afford that. Like, honestly, it would take me and two others to afford that out of like one paycheck. Honestly,
Oh, fuck.
because he was wanting me to travel all the way to Ohio, which is almost a 13-hour trip for me. Then he wanted me to pay to try out after paying for a ticket to get in, because if they didn't use me for the show, I was going to pay for the ticket to get in the gathering. So they was going to make me prepay for that, prepay for the training or the tryout, and then all the extras. And that was just a if and maybe. I'm like, I don't know if I could
Oh,
do that. But given the chance, I would love to.
on one hand, it's worth it, but on the
Honestly.
other hand, I'm like, I don't know if that's really worth it. With that being said, with what you just said, holy shit, that's a lot of fucking money.
I
That's
mean,
a lot.
things may be a little different, for if you're well known or if you're not, coming up from the bottoms like I am. Like, I ain't got somebody to spit my name. I ain't got nobody to, vouch for me. I'm coming up from the bottom, young as can be. I'm taking over where my dad left off, and he didn't step too far into the business.
I
I've
understand that.
started at 16, and I've only been in the deathmatch world for going on 2-3 years now. Been wrestling for going on 7-8 years. And 4 years in, I had somebody come to me. They wrestled a long time with my dad and was like, "You've made it farther than your dad has in the 3 years that you've been wrestling than his whole career."
Oh shit, that's
So,
fucking mind blowing.
so maybe one day prices will be right and the stipulations will be changed.
I mean,
Hopefully.
yeah, I'd love to see you in bigger, more mainstream promotions. What is your hobbies out of the ring?
Besides the ring, um, I like to game a little bit every once in a while, but spending family time with my family when I can, and
Oh,
I like to work a lot too because you gotta provide for the family somehow.
that's true. That's true.
Any chance I get to work over, and if I ain't got a show to do, and I can work over a little bit, and I can make some extra money. Why not?
That's true. Yeah.
What video
Um.
games you play?
A little bit of racing, a little bit of wrestling. I
Ooh,
got 22, 23, and 20 on WWE, UFC.
ooh,
I play it every once in a while. And my go-to is GTA. It's more of
Oh,
oh yeah,
you
yeah.
got Red Dead?
I mean,
unfortunately not. I've been debating on spending some money on that.
It's well worth it. I promise you. What system you on?
Well, PlayStation 4.
Yes, it's well worth it. Yes. Hey, after this, I'll have to drop you my gamer tag and add you.
Oh, you'll have to. I used to play with
Yes.
my partner, but he went through some shit, and I don't talk to him anymore. I see him once a month, if that. Sometimes I just don't want to be that guy. I'm like, hey man, you're gone. We started this together. You're a brother. You're around. You want to show up. You're a part of us. But if you're not nowhere around, we are still us. We
I
ain't got it.
respect
We don't have to include you to be us.
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, it is what it is.
What is your worst injury or major one?
Wrestling or um, out of ring, or yeah, out of ring.
I'll take both.
Um, Out of ring, I would say the worst I've had wasn't really. It wasn't really more so of an injury. It was more of full body bruising. Father's Day was always rough for me. Mom come to me one year, and her fiance, staying with us, she was like, "You go to the store." We kind of poor, didn't have no car at the time, so I rode my bicycle down to the local grocery store, or a gallon of milk and a carton of eggs, and a cheap cake. On the way back by, a drunk driver had ran me over about a mile and a half from my house. All
Jesus.
I had was a government phone, so all I could do is text my mama, "Hey, come outside." I mean, I can't call her. I can't say, "Hey, I've been ran over," or whatever. I had a single strap backpack on my shoulder with everything in it, so I could ride my bike. I had the dude that lived across the road grab my bike, throw it in his yard, so that way I didn't have to carry it. And I just drug my leg, limping all the way home. You could go, like, we went back through there after I got out of the hospital, and you could see where I got hit at and where I picked up the bag, because I hit the windshield, made eye contact with the driver. He threw me like 15, 20 feet, and then like the milk saved me. So like I slid on my back 15, 20 feet. And
Jesus fucking Christ.
I got up, carried the milk all the way home, like the bag. You could see a milk trail all the way to my house. I ended up taking a ride in the ambulance forcibly. It's under age 18, so mom made me. Anyways, so went to the hospital over that. Nothing broken, nothing, no organs messed up. Just really bad bruise for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Couldn't really move. But ring wise, I would say my shoulder. I did break my elbow, but that does not compare to the shoulder injury. I mean, I was out for 3 months with my elbow, almost 4. It broken on a 450. I have footage of that. I'll send you later after
All
we.
right.
Pretty gnarly. Um. Anyways, I went to a show with my actual brother. He's my shoot brother, but skip. You know, Me and him went to a show that my dad introduced me at. I'm 12 years old. He took me to Mississippi. Didn't tell me nothing. He's like, we get there. He's like, hey, you're gonna become, when we get like on the way. Okay,
And then
so
it just
my dad had introduced me to as a little sick. First, he offered Sicko Junior on the way to Mississippi one night, and I was 12 years old. I'm like, Sicko Junior, why would I do that? It's stupid. like, what about little sicko? Because I'm little and I'm sicko, you know. Sicko stunts. Why not? Look? He's like, okay, that's what you want to do. He didn't tell me that he had got me some kid collegiate wrestling shoes, had matching gear to his, and I wasn't, you know, coming out of his little manager. And
Cool.
Kilo Green, you know, I don't know if y'all know him. He was supposedly the family bloodline with us. And that's what it was. I come in to help take him down at his local show. Years later, so when me and my brother went, I got the booking back there. I'm like, dude, this is going to be awesome. I debuted as a little sicko for the first time ever here. You know, this is going to be awesome. Get there, and there's this guy there who's like, all right, kid, we're going to do this, and this. And then he just kept calling me kid, kept calling me kid. We get out there, and my brother used to play football, so he got out there, and he, you know, we Pearl Harbored him. We both bailed out of the ring, you know, started tackling him. As soon as my brother stepped out of the ring, he didn't get to swing the first swing. He took a step, blew his whole entire knee, his ACL and his meniscus, gone. So,
fuck.
You know, they continued what little bit of the spot they could, roll him up into the ring. You know, I take the spot, take the next spot, I go up in the ring. You know, he comes over, hobbling over the best he could, but I didn't notice that we're in a match. You know, I thought he was selling or something like that. He comes over to me, makes a tag. He's like, I'm done. I'm like, you're done? He's like, my knee. I'm like, oh, fuck. I didn't know. You know, this is just 4 words at max. We get in there. Dude goes for, or he tells me, he's like, hey, your brother's, you done? I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. I got this. Because he said, you know, you got this the rest of your match. This is first thing, 2 minutes in. Okay? I've been wrestling for going on 8 years. I've done singles. I've done triple threats, you know, tag teams. I've done, you name it. I've done it. I can handle this. This guy wants to roughhouse and call me kid. That's cool. First thing he does is lock up with me and goes into a waist lock, into a mat slam. I don't know what he had done, but he had pulled my shoulder back. And the best thing I could do is show you the aftermath. That right there is my collarbone that goes down. Doctors said there's nothing when there is. But that's all because I ain't rich and I can't afford medical insurance. But, you know, I live day by day and, you know, it don't really bother me every day. I go to work and lift a 400-pound LVL beam. Next day, I'm going to be hurting. Can't lift up my arm. Other than that, it's no problem. So, there's your worst injuries.
Man.
I bet you weren't expecting to be able to see it, was you? That's out there is gnarly.
Yeah, you could see it. Like, you can see where it goes. Like here's his shoulder, and then here's his other part, but this part right here goes in. Like, you can see where it goes in, and then if he covers it, it kind of blends in with his shirt. It's fucking, I can see it, and it's fucking nasty as fuck. Go ahead, Squirrel.
In Carnage Cup 12, you fight Chet Ripley in the first round. What did it feel like, or how did you feel when he threw you off the UHaul? Through all them tables and light room?
I was lost in that moment there. I couldn't tell you how it felt. I could tell you a brief bit of the moment. I was told I was wrestling this guy. I did research, couldn't find nothing on this guy. I didn't know who he is and nothing like that. There's no video of him. Just like everybody said, you can't find no video of you, yeah. Well, same thing with him. So I was a little scared debuting my death. Anyways, it's like, oh, you're going to go off the top of this U-Haul first thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, what are you talking about? Oh, you're going to get up there and you're going to mankind you. I'm like, that's just kind of stupid. What are we going to do? Lock up and just go? He said, no, you're going to go get up there and you're going to attack him. He's going to hit you with something. Like, okay. I mean, I lost into it because I wasn't expecting that. You know, first deathmatch bump of my career was off I'm going to say there's 16 foot, either 14 or 16 foot U-Haul. I mean, that's something to say you took. And, you know, got up.
That's
Hey.
that's that's something to talk about. Yes, sir. So who was? Well, you just answered that. Your first death match was actually against Chet Ripley.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone you would like to call out? Anybody completely at all?
I don't know.
I mean, we got promoters, wrestlers, everybody watches us. I'm actually live on Facebook too, so in the
Sweet.
Outlaw Mud Show group. So,
That's sweet. Let's just put it this way.
okay.
The Ringmaster is issuing an open challenge to anybody and everybody who's willing to prove they're more wicked than the little sicko.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm not playing.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the smallest guy because I'm scared of the big guys." No, what? No, no, no. If you think you've got what it takes to put me down, bring it. I didn't back down from Bryant Woods. I'm not gonna back down from you. He might have put me
ah,
down for free, but I still got back up, and I still tried to defend myself in every which way possible and fight that big motherfucker off. And I'll do it. Bring it.
yeah, I gotta agree. I want to see whoever can put Little Sicko down. I mean, there's only one that I know of really that really gave him a run for his money. I mean, and that's little Bryant Woods. I mean, Brian White and John Rowe, they took a toll on him. So did Obey.
Actually, I will call Brian out because, like, he wants to say that I want to lay down on him. From his point of view,
No, Bryant Woods said that you laid down on him.
that's what I'm saying, Brian.
Oh,
So coming from his point of view, saying that I lay down on him, that's all good, it's respectable because that's what you seen. I want another shot. I'm not done. I might not be the biggest, I might not be the heaviest, but I still want a shot at that prettiness you got, all that shiny.
Ooh, fuck.
To prove that I'm the sickest and the baddest, no matter how
Oh,
big.
shit. And Kevin watches this, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I want him to know that he's got a rude awakening coming. Like he knows what I'm about. Kevin knows, but he never knows what's going through my head.
Ooh, fuck.
But some of the things I've actually thought about would probably
Ooh,
scare the average person.
ooh, fuck yes.
I
I need
mean,
a round two.
whenever you're doing a spot that's so crazy that you're not just working the fan, not working the crowd. You are popping the owner, the booker. I went back. I didn't watch much footage. I didn't like. I watched a few high spots, some of the gnarly spots. Like I seen footage of me going off the U-Haul. That's it. Besides, well, both times actually. You know, glass spots or the big bumps off the ring, of course. But I didn't watch nothing besides that. I'd keep things kind of, memorable in a way. Somebody
Yeah, that's
talk.
understandable.
Oh, really? Wow, I can't really remember that. I don't watch it every day. I'm not one of those people that just goes and watch my stuff every time I get done. I'll watch everybody else, but I don't care to watch my own stuff. I'll just keep practicing to improve. I don't need to watch myself to improve. So, like, I went back and watched the U-Haul spot with J-Blade, and I didn't really want to go off the U-Haul again. I done went off the night before. It wasn't even 24 hours. They had said something about working up to the U-Haul, and I'm like, no. We got mid-match, and I don't know. And next thing I know, I'm climbing up the front of the U-Haul. And
Oh,
when I jump off this thing, only one person expected it, and that was J-Blade. But he wasn't expecting anything else. Like, he didn't know I was just going to go, hey, I'm jumping like this or nothing like that. I just was like, let's go down. I'm still up there selling. He gets up there and he's like, I'm going to kill him. I'm still up. He's up there looking to see where I'm at. We're working back around to the front of the camera. Because why we work behind the truck, so we're working back around. Around. By the time he makes it back in front of the camera, I stand up and just charge right off. Don't know why. Beautiful. It was a rough bump, but listening back to the footage, hearing Kevin Brannon mark out as a owner booker was the most beautiful things you could think of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kevin's a big name. We both love Kevin. We've had Kevin on our channel. Kevin is. I'm going to try for a part 2 with Kevin later on down the road. He is such a down to earth, nice gentleman. I love all of y'all Deep South boys. I actually grew up watching y'all, and another question I have is, besides that, with you speaking on that, a lot of my questions come from Carnage Cup 13. How was it facing Bryant Woods, basically getting destroyed and making a murder scene off the UHaul spot, then sleeping on the ground, and the next day fighting Jay Blade in a 2 out of 3 falls match?
It took a little bit of alcohol to influence me a little bit. I wanted to do it so bad, and I was moving fine. I wasn't hurting none. But to, like, get my liquid courage to, like, when you hear your music as a wrestler and you're in the locker room, like, this is as a, everyday indie professional or every weekend indie professional wrestler, right? I mean, every weekend I hear my music. I get the jitterbug. I start fucking getting nervous. I start bouncing. I start getting into the zone. I become a little sicko.
Yeah, I respect that.
I'm just sitting there thinking at Carnage Cup, going into that second match, I'm like, I've done been through so much. What else could we do? Oh my God. What else can I put myself through? So it's more so of, I just gotta take my mind away from it. I just need to relax. So I just get a little buzz going. Like, I wasn't drunk. No.
You had to feel good. I respect that. I understand that.
Drive, do you? No. So, I mean, get a little buzz going. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Just pilling around with somebody and somebody you trust. It ain't like I'm wrestling some high-dollar, million-dollar wrestler from WWE or AEW. So, I mean, we're buddies. So it ain't like it's going to hurt nothing.
Yeah, he's not going to let you get hurt, and you're not going to let him get hurt. So, yeah, I respect that.
I guess that would probably help influence the idea of all the dumb we've done.
So, is the trash can your favorite weapon, or do you have a favorite weapon?
Trash can's one of my favorites because it carries weapons.
I respect that. Damn. I like that. Yes, that comes from a lot of the older ECW boys. Yes, sir.
Yes, they got a good pop, they sound good, that look good when they crush. Many different reasons. I mean, you could get hurt depending on, but you gotta know when to throw it out. Favorite deathmatch wise, like actual weapon would probably be a proper pane of glass or light tubes. I love glass. I really do. Favorite fan made, homemade, whatever you want to do is bottle caps. Take the bottle cap. That's one of the most expensive weapons I've ever made because it takes a lot of day drinking, a lot of night drinking, Coke and beer just to get your little metal beer tabs. Take and glue them on a bat, one of them big wiffle ball bats, glue them on, turn around and glue thumbtacks and push pins in the midst of all of them, in the middle, in the gaps and all that. So there ain't nothing that you're missing. It leaves for some gnarly looking pictures when you're done.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna have to make something like that and bring it to you.
Oof.
Put skewers or some shit into it in the middle of it. Skewers and tacks and fucking bottle caps and shit. That'll fuck somebody off.
That's one of my go-to first things to make. I mean, as soon as I get their cup, I started buying some more bottles to put in the fridge so that way I could have them to drink when I want to. So that way I can start racking up.
Yep.
Going in the next show, but I got to start now.
What is it like being a second generation deathmatch competitor?
I really don't know of any others, to be honest with you. I don't want to say that I am the first second gen deathmatch wrestler because I might not be. So, but I do want to say that.
I want to say RSP and Pondo.
Really? I didn't know that.
They say something about a family feud, so I'm not really for sure.
It might be. I don't know. To me, it's just coming up. The way I look at it is second generation in deathmatch wrestling. It's not just I've been in the wrestling business. I grew up in the business. Yada yada yada. And you kind of the same, but it's not. It's not just some. Oh, I'm a backyarder. Oh, that looks cool. I want to do that or something like that. It's more of this is in my blood. This is more of I got more oomph to my style. I've got more strive to do what I do. Where, like Brian White, he's trying to build himself up in business. He had to do this, he had to do that. That wasn't the case for me. It really wasn't. No shame on him, nothing like that. It just wasn't the case for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
We're all brought up different, and we all are introduced different. And to be honest with you, probably answered one of your questions already, but I was introduced by Blaine, who's also a family friend. He came to me and said, "Hey, we got a little spot we'd like to fill. You still interested? You said you was when you was a kid." I'm like, "You kidding me? This is the dream come true." And here I am.
Actually, I don't know how familiar you are with the England death matches, but Iceman and Jack are father and son too.
Really?
Yes, sir. Can we get more death matches of you and your brother?
Could you?
Yes, I love the matches with you and your brother.
Yeah, they're just so brutal because what does family do to each other? Like I said,
Especially Southern family.
yeah. See exactly that time I told you about where he tore his ACL and meniscus. He is actually on for over a year now.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be around Cup or supposed to be at Cup?
He was at Cup. He was.
I mean, wasn't he supposed to wrestle or something like that?
It was in the works of bringing in him as in a match. He just had his surgery. He's working on getting back into the ring now. He's still trying to work out and everything. He don't want to rush it. Him and Kevin have actually been in talk about bringing him back in for the next show in May. But unfortunately, he booked the show at the same day his baby is due. So my brother won't be able to attend the show because of that reason. So hopefully, fingers crossed on this one. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring the tag team belts back to IWA itself where they belong next Carnage Cup.
Ooh, and that's gonna be in October. So fuck yes. How was it fighting John Rare and Brian White?
I guess that wasn't the scariest thing that I've done by far. So I wasn't really scared with that. It was more of everybody talking in my ear, everybody that cared, everybody that loved me, like family wise, friends, the scene, You think about stepping into the ring with John Rare. What's gonna come? Do you know? No, you don't know. Is he gonna stab me? I don't know. He's done been stab somebody else. He might cut my finger off. I do not know.
That's John Rare for you.
A serious thought process with somebody like that. But other than that, it was perfect. I mean, we're all brotherhood around here.
You don't know. You don't know if you're going to get blown up, caught on fire, get stabbed. I mean, it's John Rare. That's one of the things about John. What is the highest fall that you've ever done?
Highest fall was Jamie Richards with a one wing ankle off that 24, 25 foot roof.
Yes, that motherfucker. Me and Squirrel's been talking about that for the past week. I'm like, Brian has it posted on his YouTube channel, and I've seen that damn spot a million times, and I can't get over it. I cannot get over it.
I've posted
That
that thing
blows my mind,
banned.
bro. I just watched it probably like 2 hours ago. And every time I've watched it, like 3 or 4 times. Every time I watch it, it's like,
that was probably one of the most surreal moments I'd ever had. Was whenever me and Jamie Richards was on top of that roof, because we was like, "What are we about to do? Like, are we seriously about to commit to this off this roof? Like, it ain't."
I have a question about Carnage 13. How did you feel when you hit Obey with a Spanish fly through a glass table?
More shocked that I wasn't more cut up, but at the same time, I was more worried about my opponent because you could tell by the spot
Sadisto. That's his manager. Ain't Sadisto your manager?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. He's also a referee, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes.
Yeah, if needed to be, and plus it's easier when for your manager, like, hey, you all right? I'm right here. I ain't gotta cross all this glass. I'm already right here, reffing. He's got ref skills, so if he can't get booked as a wrestler, or it'd be cool to introduce more managers into the deathmatch world. I only know of a few, like Judge Joe has one. There's only very few that has
Joe, Stephen Jerry, Will Carroll, Sadisto, the Rev, Dan Wilson,
there's Sean L. Wills. He's a manager too.
Sean. Fuck.
So there's not many.
Dewey,
So him would be nice.
Nick Gage's manager.
Oh yeah, I forgot about his.
And there's another one running around.
You named more than I could even think of.
What's your favorite flavor?
Favorite flavor of Faygo?
Yes.
Watermelon, pineapple, or red pop. I'm really bland.
Cotton candy.
It's too sweet for me.
Too sweet.
Yeah.
We put her to sleep, and normally, sometimes she'll sleep through an interview, but here lately, she wakes up in the middle of the interviews and she watches wrestling with me. She's done watched you versus Jay Blade. She's watched Brian and John. She's watched you, John, and Brian White. She's watched you and Bryant Woods. She watches deathmatch wrestling with me. My son, he gets to watching it, and then he thinks he's a wrestler. So I'm like, yeah, you keep going with that, and I'm going to put you in death matches. I swear to you, little sicko, this kid does not feel pain.
Part of the reason why my son coming to shows, I had, first time since he'd been born, I had dropped him off at somebody else's house, let him stay overnight. I'm like, I'm not fond of that idea. Like, I'm my first child, I don't want to do that. I don't care who it is. It's my child. I want to raise him how I want to raise him. Nobody gonna tell me how to do it.
Of course.
But at the same time, I don't want to be that father that people have thoughts running through their head, like, hey, he takes his kid to do this and takes him to events like this. He don't need to be doing that. Not only just that, but at the same time, do you really want your kid to remember you like that?
That is a good.
Do I want my kid to remember me the way I looked laying there on that tarp, half dead? Because honestly, I can say I was probably about half dead in that moment. I mean,
that's a good question. I mean, when they're young, and if you're, like your situation, it could traumatize them. But with what we interview y'all, and I feel like it's kind of different, even though it could still traumatize them. I mean, I grew up in the wrestling, well, not like you, but I grew up watching it, and I've been to a couple of like WWE events and shit. And then, I want to bring it into my kids, But maybe when your little one gets a certain age, like 10, 15, you can, introduce them. Or
I'm waiting on him to say, "Daddy, I want to go with you to wrestling this weekend. I don't want you to go by yourself."
there it is. Yes, do him like his dad done you.
Exactly.
Yes, that would be fucking, and then have a third generation.
That's the plan. And the best part about that is my dad back in 2006 was wrestling this promotion in Moulton, Alabama, and he walked in the very first time and red nose, red mouth. It's a tradition for me. Traditional clown. I ain't got to have all the fancy designs or whatnot. He walked in the building, walked through, scared out fans. About 4 of them ran out the building. Promoter's like, "You can't do this again. You're running off money. If you want to get paid, you can't do this." So he, first time since he started wrestling, dropped his paint and started wrestling under his shoot name. His name was Anthony, but he went wrestled as a hillbilly named Anthony. So my oldest sister named her firstborn son Anthony, and I swore I was going to do that. So I was like, I'm going to keep the wrestling in the family. I named him Anthony after my dad's wrestling name.
Hell yeah.
So having him have a wrestling name as his name, plus being third generation, would be a dream come true for me.
Yes, sir. So, do you want to speak or talk about your father?
If you want, it depends on.
I want to hear about Sicko Sr., but like I said, I have no clue on anything to ask you about him.
Um,
So it's all open. The floor, whatever's all yours. I love to hear stories.
that's about the best thing I could do is tell maybe a couple stories because he died at 12 and it was traumatizing to me because I was introduced right before then, maybe 6 8 months before then, and then he started taking off traveling with the fair, and then what happened, and then that was the last time I ever seen him. So that Christmas was the worst time I'd ever experienced. I guess that's more of the reason why I just wanted to continue because, he took a break from wrestling to travel to make some money. He didn't want to, but he did it. I guess that's part of the reason why I wanted to. But at the same time, I mean, I go to these shows, or I used to go to these shows, and sit in a locker room before I started wrestling, and even after I started wrestling, just to listen to the old people that knew my dad, wrestled my dad, how he worked. There ain't no videos, y'all, like y'all said. I mean, one of my
I got
keys.
one picture of your dad, and it was sent to me. So
Yeah, that was. I wasn't at that show, but I believe that was one of Kevin Brandon's show in Silicaga back when he was running in Silicaga.
And well, I got two pictures, but this picture ain't really too clear of him.
Yeah,
That's the only two that I have. And if you want to put pictures or videos in this interview, just send them over. And when I'm editing the video, I'll add them to it of whatever you talk
I
about.
can. I can do that because I got a couple. I got a couple pictures that they was selling as merch that we have in a book. Keeps because we don't have many pictures. Most of them are wrestling, so I might have a few from Carnage Cup 8 that would be interesting for y'all to see. Like it was the aftermath of the choke slam off the top rope that he took in the
Oh
four-way.
shit!
It was a four-way over the top rope gauntlet top match or something like that. Fatal four-way style, something. Either way, he had ended up on the outside of the second rope. Dude got up on top rope with him and chokeslammed him right off the side of the ring into a bed frame. It was a twin size bed frame that they had wrapped all the way around and had spray painted across the headboard deathbed. Like it was a
Oh
gnarly.
shit!
The bad part was, and the best part about it was that was how he's supposed to be eliminated. They had the bar barbed wire so tight that he technically was never eliminated. So he
Oh,
climbed
damn.
back into the match and, got eliminated for real. I know what you're asking, and I'll correct you. I didn't wrestle Skitzo. I haven't wrestled Skitzo in over a year and a half, 2 years. So that was at the
I'm
about 10.
so sorry, yo.
So what you're asking me is about this. I've been playing with it in my hand. If you've not been hearing this, I've been playing with it. Wait.
Yes, that's what you put in your nose at Carnage Cup 13. Oh my fucking god, and he does it right in front of us. Oh my god. The 16-inch penny nail that Brian White's always talking about. Oh my god. You fucking, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's what you stuck. Oh my god. That has to be your gimmick weapon besides the trash can. That has to be like your.
It's after I heard you talking about it, I wear it in my entrances now at all shows.
Oh my god, that is cool as fuck.
Because I actually have my nose gauged.
Oh shit. I've never seen. He's made an open challenge. I'm fucking scared, little sicko. I mean,
I
he's
don't
fucking. It's
do
little
it.
sicko.
Bryant Woods, if you actually ask him about his been ripped out in a match where his was gauged bigger than mine. That's why I won't go no bigger because of that reason.
Yes, it was ripped out by Brad Cash ripped his out.
Yeah, and he said that if he would have knew it, he would have worked the whole crowd, but he didn't know it until he got in the back because the ref walked up and handed it to him. He's like, "Hey, here's this." He's like, "Oh, it was. Wait, thought it was my ear, but it's not my ear. It was my nose." That would suck.
So I just got a couple of pictures. I don't know her shoot. I know her shoot name, but I don't know her. Um, I think she's Sadisto's wife.
Ah, yeah, that is where I had got the old family rivalry from between me and Skitzo and me and Riot, because that is
Queen Chaos sent them over,
yes, that is Sinister's. Yeah,
and then there's
yeah, that's me and Spider when he won Carnage Cup 8.
Oh wow.
That's Psycho and Dad and one of his best friends.
oh shit. That is fucking cool as fuck.
Believe it or not, both pictures you showed me had two different partners of his. One of them was Psycho, and the other one was Kilo Green. Both former clowns. Well,
Do you have a favorite clown aside of ICPs or Juggalos?
me.
I respect that. Like, you kind of answered that earlier. You don't want to be like one of those scary clowns, but I mean, I didn't want to ask you, was you like a big fan of like killer clowns from outer space or other clowns?
I like that face paint. That face paint is cool. I'm sorry.
Dude, that face paint's fucking off the wall. We are the
Oh
best.
yeah.
I gotta agree. I gotta agree.
Okay, so picture I was telling you about the deathbed. Trying to stay around how. I don't know. Let's do it this way. That is the deathbed there. I can't see what I'm doing. That there.
Ooh.
Oh
There's
shit.
gotta be a better way to do this.
I'm not for sure how to flip it around on the
Yeah.
phone. Scroll.
Hey.
There it goes.
So that would be the deathbed there. Kind of blurry, but
Ooh.
and then the same match was him and Bryant Woods. It's kind of blurry still. Let's see if I can pull it out here so it helps y'all out. No, you can't. It ain't helping out none. But
Unless
He
his
don't do
back
stuff.
camera is
Pictures
dirty, but
there in Bryant Woods, so that was just luck that he was in that match too. So that's the same day that I'd asked him about doing that. There's trophy picture Spider. Now, like I said, these are all older pictures. The big bump where Spider and Matt Tremont come off the top of the U-Haul. I
oh,
apologize for blurry pictures.
you're
Old,
fine.
old blurry razor or sawzall blade
Jesus.
was, I want to say, Saw match 3 with John Rare and Spider. That's the family rivalry where I got introduced with Kilo and my dad Sicko. That is the scars I was telling you about from the Coke bottles, beer bottles.
Damn.
Looks gnarly, don't it?
Oh,
God, that's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
I wish this did a little better justice, but that's somewhat of a good picture of him if you could see it. And then his back his back all bloody.
Jesus.
There's the deathbed without him.
Oh,
If you've ever seen the mega push pins, these things right
yeah.
here make normal push pins look like nothing. Like they're like that big, like no
They're
kidding.
huge.
Yes. And then here's the very first day I debuted.
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what it is?
Oh, man.
Oh, it's that screen protector.
Oh, then yeah.
It's actual screen protector. All right. Anyway, these are the first day that I was introduced as a little sicko.
oh,
Yeah. So we was like 2 peas in a pod. Like that's my best friend I lost.
that's amazing.
And just some more old school pictures of him.
Hey,
I did something. I tried that again. I did something.
now it's coming in more clear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I have
This is weird. There's an iPhone doing this. What is that?
Queen Chaos sent over some more pictures. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, that was when he won his heavyweight champion belt. That was the belt he was buried with. Or well,
Oh
not buried,
shit!
casket.
And then
Ho. Here's a throwback for you. Bryant Woods.
wow,
You couldn't even tell that's Bryant Woods, and then his wicked face paint schemes.
wow.
Him when he first started. So the crazy goes back a long way.
And then here's another picture of you two.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I was just showing.
heck
About
yeah.
all the actual pictures of him that I got in the family album.
And then here you go.
Yes, that was my first one on mid match on Kilo Green. Funny story about that is that was a hardcore match, and you say like my dad's on his knees, right? There's a kendo stick laying in the ring. He took that kendo stick and he like raked the ring like a windshield wiper to get all the thumbtacks out of the ring.
Oh,
So
shit.
the psychology is one thumbtack hurts worse than 1,000 thumbtacks because
Yeah.
you. So when I done that swanton, like 12-year-old little kid, I got up. Everybody laughed. They thought it was like a comedy spot or something. I got out of the ring, rubbing my butt cheek where I landed on a thumbtack.
um,
Oh,
just off the top of my head, what can we expect out of Carnage Cup 14?
just I don't even know what to say about Carnage Cup 14. Just knowing what some of the guys, well, mainly me and Kevin, have brought up to each other about some of the other upcoming shows he's been talking about planning. That's just gonna be wild, just like everything else.
Kevin's brutal as fuck. I like that about Kevin.
Kevin's a mark for himself, or not necessarily a mark for himself. He's a mark of the business, and he never could get past that. So no matter the fact he's the owner, he never could get past being a mark. What is brutal and dangerous and all that you're getting at is actually us workers. He's finding some gnarly motherfuckers.
Yeah. Do you ever go hunting or fishing?
No, not really. Can't say I do.
I honestly would say if somebody would tell me that and it wasn't you, I'd have to disagree with them. I was like, no, he looks more like he goes hunting, fishing, does something in his spare time.
I'm tattooed. I'm pierced all I've had 6 total piercings, and I got red, blue, black hair most of the time. I've had mohawk, bullets, what you name it, covered in scars. Do I really look like I fit in with that's no, not really. My boss runs a livestock sale. He's like, "Why don't you come run these animals through for me?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I want extra money, but that's not going to cut it for me. Like, you really think I belong around them? Like, you have Amish families that come in here and buy horses from you. You think they're going to want to buy a horse from somebody that looks like me? That's not a marketing tool."
You seem to have a rivalry or history with Jamie Richards. Will you speak on it?
Rivalry, no. It's more of a first time experience that just went wild. I've met Jamie. I've known Jamie a long time. I got the booking first. J Blade already, of course, was working his way into the booking Carnage Cup 12. I got the booking, and we needed an extra spot, and J Blade mentioned Jamie, and Jamie's like, "Yeah, I'll do it one time." And we all from the same local show, same area. And, we go up in here. We've never worked each other. Like, I've worked J Blade a couple times, but I've never worked Jamie. Going into that spot just was a different way to experience first time wrestling somebody.
Hell yeah. So, where do you see your career in 5 or 10 years from now?
In 5-10 years, I see the bookings coming to me instead of me having to, hey, you got a spot? Hey, I would like to come make an appearance on your show. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I heard it. I listened to Bryant Spooky Dust podcast earlier, and it's one of the things they said. We noticed that y'all Deep South guys are y'all are more or less words just saying we're loyal. We find a place we stick because that's what loyalty is. We are loyal to the bone. It's not just that we can be loyal and travel. It's the fact that
Exactly.
we're deep south. We're considered backyarders. We're considered untrained professionals. When the truth of the matter is I've been wrestling for 8 years, indie, before I started doing, death matches. I just was a dream for me, and I got the chance to do it, so I started doing it. It ain't nothing about me not being trained or nothing. It's something I wanted to do.
Yeah, they said that y'all really don't wrestle anywhere else, and I'm like, we've had Bryant Woods and GCW, IWA Mid-South. We have you who wrestles technically and regular promotion, regular wrestling. We've had Brian White. It's just Kevin picks up guys that makes a name. Some of them already have a name made for themselves,
Right.
but if you really watch it, Kevin is your big break. If you get into Carnage Cup, that's like your big break in my book.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, Kevin, I'm going to do what I can to make you happy. Not per se, I'm not trying to kill myself, but I'm going to do what I can to make happy so that way I can make a name for myself. Because I have a feeling that you're the biggest broadcasted live show or whatever that I've ever done. And I put everything I've ever learned to the knowledge of using that to try to put myself out there. Like, you was talking about how well I worked the nose spot. Nobody else seen that. But you seen that because you watched the video. Work the camera. I mean, I'm doing stuff that most trained professionals don't do. I mean, some do, like WWE, but there's been a few that don't work the camera. You know, it's one of those old secrets. You want everybody to know what's going on. You want them to see everything. You want to look the best you can, and I'm gonna do what I can to get there.
I mean, when I watch you, I watch your opponent, but I got eyes for you. I mean, like, you're the center of attention, and that's what sells for you. Like, your nose ring, chewing on barbed wire, flying wherever the fuck you land is wherever the fuck you land. That's what gets you over. And every wrestler has their own personal thing that gets them over, but them three things for me is what really gets you over. And I feel like, if you go into like GCW or something, matter of fact, I have a question about you going to XPW. Right after Carnage Cup 13 in November, I made a post about you going to XPW. Brian Wade agreed. Could we ever make it work, or you ever work for Rob or whatever?
I've been in the works of that, honestly, but
I would love to see you over there.
I sent a promo picture. Me and Hillbilly were the same age. We've been talking. I've stayed out at his house a couple times. We're not best friends, but I'd say we're probably the closest friends that I got in the business. And he's been working with him, and he's been mentioning me, yada yada yada. I've had a couple people mentioning me, but I don't think it's quite enough to catch Rob's attention yet.
Have you ever heard of? Well, you probably have, but would you ever go for a POR?
I have, and if I could just up and leave family one weekend, and my family is not, I could up and leave, and just be me and my old lady or something like that. But, my old lady's not going to let me go nowhere. My mom ain't going to be happy about me doing it, but, she ain't going to, stop me, a grown man or whatever. But, I mean, like I said, this has been a family tradition for me. Like, when I say that, like, you just don't understand. Like, my mom and my sisters and I used to stay up late at night. We'd make merch and stuff for Dad to take to wrestling, try to help make him a profit. We'd all go as a family. That was our family day. I mean, it's what it's always been. So when it comes to show weekend, goes time to go to show, they load up their car, I load up my car, we all hit a show. So it's where it's always been. And, it's not that, oh, he's a mama's boy, he got to drag his. No, it's not that. I got supporters that just want to support, It's the biggest part about me. And you want me to travel to Virginia, and I'm all the way almost 12 hours away. I don't know the distance right now, but
maybe 14 at the most. I'm not too sure myself.
Up and leave without a guarantee. Hey, you can come work for me, and I would love to. I've even talked about it. I mean, it'd be an honor.
When how did you feel when Chet Ripley slammed you into the steerboard at Carnage Cup 12?
Steerboard. Oh, that was probably the scariest thing I've actually done.
Oh shit! Yes. Was that worse than facing Bryant Woods?
Yes.
Oh shit! Really?
Nowadays, fuck that shit. Let's do it. I don't give. I don't. I've done to that point where nothing scares me. Honestly, I've been through the worst. Look at Bryant. He's the worst. Just talking about how big he is. Skiers are 4 foot long. If you did not know, like, they are 4 foot long. I am maybe 8, 10 inches, thick stomach wise. So Kevin, first time, working for him, he's like, all right, you're gonna take a bump on this. I'm expecting. I've seen a lot of death matches. Oh, it's a little skewer board. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll pull up and I'm like, that's crazy. That's something crazy. The whole car, like, your match, it's for your match. I'm like, no, y'all cracking ghosts. So I bet you, who else is gonna do that? I get to talking to Kevin. He said, "Yeah, that over there's for your match." I'm like, "And you want me to do what? And you want me to do what?" And I got to talking to all the vets, Aiden, Remington, all the guys that was at fucking Carnage Cup 12, and they're like, "No, don't do it, don't do it. Fuck that shit, don't do it." I'm like, oh fuck, these vets are telling me not to do it. Well, fuck. I'm like, well, I done promised him I was gonna do it, and then now he's kind of like, wants me to do it because I said I would. I'm like, so how do I get past this? So we get to talking, and that's when we come up with an idea like, hey, let's do it the way we did it. The first time with Chet Ripley. And I'd actually gotten props from a couple guys, after that for the way I took that bump. Instead of falling straight back into it and taking it straight on, I kind of like squatted and pushed with like my strength, like my legs, like I was squatting or something, and pushed them up when I hit them so that way I wasn't hitting them straight on. Because you don't want, we are doing stupid stuff. Like don't try this at home kind of stuff. But you want to do it as safe as possible.
I'm going to have to get your manager on here and ask him what was his thoughts when Jamie Richards drove you off in Carnage Cup 12 off that building, because your manager was the first one there. I don't know if you know it or not, but he was like right on top of you. He was the first one there.
I'll give you some insight that nobody else knows. Okay?
All right, I can clip it if you want me to.
I don't know. I care. He's probably over laughing about it. As I'm about to tell y'all, he knows exactly what I'm, because that's listening, so he's listening. Anyways, you seen that he was the first one to run up on us, right?
Yeah.
Jamie was trying to pin me, and he was like kind of sore from that. So he was like, "Get the tables off of us." Nobody hurt us. So I mumbled underneath my breath and said it with a pissed off voice because nobody was moving. And when you go through something like that, you want everything fuck off of you. You want to get get the fuck off me. I want to know.
Hurts. I mean, tell it shit hurts.
Believe it or not, I remember that, and I did not feel it. I mean, I was told in my training that when you take a bump in a wrestling ring, you can fall off a building. As long as you know how to train, like you was trained right, it won't hurt. I was bullshit. It's true. But anyways. Getting back to that, Sadisto's standing there, and I'm like, get these damn tables off of us. So the ref, Troy, reaches down and starts grabbing the tables, and he reaches down and grabs the tables too. All of our body weights leaned up against the tables, right? And whenever they start ripping the tables off, his foot is underneath one of the tables. And he had a ingrown toenail or something that it was bothering him for almost a year or something like that. We ripped that thing off whenever that happened.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I get up after this because, like, they, throw the table off and everything, and he disappears. Like, he's gone. Like, you noticed that in the video. Well, that's why. Yeah. Like, he ripped his toenail off. And whenever I got to the back with everything, and, because he helped check on me and everything like that, but he was also injured, too, so he was trying to take care of himself. I get to the back, and he disappeared again. And, I finally go, where's he at? Where's he at? Is he okay? Is he freaking out? I got to find out what's going on. He done ran back to our vehicle and done ripped his shoe off and sitting there holding his foot, falling. It ripped, like he was hurting that damn bad.
Jesus.
Like, I don't know what he thought about that, but he had a gnarly bump out of that too.
Jesus.
I mean, I figured that'd be something that'd want to be said because that was gnarly.
So we have gotten Brian's opinion on this, but I want to get your opinion. What was going through your head, or what was going through your mind when John Rayer stabbed himself at Carnage Cup 13?
Here we go again, and why wasn't I told about this? And what the fuck? That's just what.
Brian said he was laying there. He was like, John, what are you doing? John, what are you doing? John, what are you doing? And Brian's like, I don't know if I'm going to get stabbed. I don't know if we're going to have another Spider John here. And what if he's going to stab Sicko? How I'm going to do it?
Down when I seen it, So I didn't see it. I just looked up to almost the aftermath. Like I just caught the tail end and then everything else. I'm like, oh my god.
I won't lie.
It wasn't me.
I was
Everybody's like,
expecting
y'all was talking
John.
about him stabbing me. He didn't stab me. He stabbed himself.
I was expecting John to flip out and stab one of you two. And
Oh,
next thing you know, he just attacking him on himself. I'm like,
I don't even know if I want to call that. I don't. Well, I don't even know what to call that.
That one, I've covered it on the channel. That part was, I don't even know.
I noticed you do a lot of tag matches, but you also do singles. Do you prefer to be a tag team or a singles competitor?
Here recently, and I think that's probably going to stay for a while. I prefer
John,
singles because it allows you more time to get your shit in, is what we like to call it. Hey, we're gonna do this or this. I don't want to know that. Just get your shit in, and then I'll get my shit in. We'll have a good match, and then we will. But if call it a match, whatever.
you was talking about a
We're,
tag team match.
okay, yeah. Of course, right. Okay, so and now that I'm back and doing singles again, it's at first when my partner started no showing me at first because he's had all these issues. I mean, whatever. I was like, what? Now I got to do all these shows by myself, and then they started getting hard. I was doing them good, having good matches, but I just physically wasn't prepared for that no more. And my body was drained, my physique was drained. And getting back to doing singles was more of like, hey, this is where you belong. I love doing tag matches. It's a dream of me and my brothers. That's why I started it with my first tag partner. But at the same time, I prefer singles.
I understand that. So, would you say taking a light tube over your back or your head's easier?
It's the same. You just got to stand there and take it. But I'd say it's easier to take them across the back because then you ain't got to worry about having to deal with the cuts out and open all the time. Other than that, you just got to worry about your face getting cut up like mine.
I gotta take a light tube now. I done stuck a skewer in Squirrel's head. I'll have to send you the video of it after we get off.
See, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, why is everybody putting their hands up blocking the light tube? Why are they doing that? Well, that's why. They hurt.
Yeah.
They were knocking me I was dizzy and out of it for that 3 count. So, I mean, that's why.
Right.
I mean, I had to start protecting a little better. I mean, take a couple shots to the head. Don't be a little bitch, but at the same time, remember, protect yourself. Don't let them all hit you in the head.
Brian said it's easier to take it over the back, but if you want to take it over your head, either way's easy. He said just throw your hands up, protect your eyes. He said if you notice, that's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm like,
close your eyes and hold your breath for a good 5-10 seconds if you can. If not,
the skewer alone. When I stuck the skewer in Squirrel's head, dude, I was okay with it till I heard that pop, and then my stomach flipped. I'm like, ooh.
that was hell on Jay played today at Carnage Cup, Kings of Carnage. He, believe it or not, he wanted me to make him bleed with just that nail. I'm like, okay, you do realize this nail is dull. It's not meant to be doing this. He's like, harder. I'm like, fuck, okay. And I did, and that's why he was, okay.
Fuck yeah. We've been trying to interview Jay, but his phone won't let him. He said he's going to have to try something. I was like, if I have to come to Carnage Cup 14 and interview either way, I'm getting you on this fucking
Dude, you do it just to come and hang out. Like they said on Spooky Does podcast, like said, they normally do camp out every other show, camp out and hang out, drink, hang out after the show. You'll get to like Necro Butcher. Necro Butcher legit sat back at the show like after everybody was done over with and was sitting there drinking and smoking, everything. We used to listen to the stories of the legend Necro and where he's been to Japan and shit like that. Like that's an experience you won't never experience unless you're at a show. You get him drinking after the show, and he's feeling good. He's gonna tell you all them good stories.
Fuck yeah. So, since you grew up around IWA Deep South, how do you feel like it has changed over the years, and do you feel like any of the guys has changed?
Yeah, the guys have changed. I don't really know all the guys that was back in the day. I know a big group of guys that was there. There's a lot of funny guys, and I will say I don't know what's up with Kevin. I'm not a big fan myself of all the goofy matches and all that. I mean, I'm a clown and everything. I try to stay funny, but at the same time, I try to stay more serious in his show because why am I going to be goofy? You're being goofy already. Show. If I start acting goofy, then that's one less serious match. I mean, some of my indie shows I do, one of my funny spots to make the crowd laugh, and as long as the ref's okay with it, I do a prop kiss, and I'll kiss the ref.
I understand that.
You know, you're not supposed to touch the ref, but, you know, it's funny. Everybody loves it. You know what do you expect when you're in the ring with a clown? Mwah!
So, who in the hell hit Jay Blade? What fan hit Jay Blade with the light tubes at Carnage Cup 13?
Mm.
The way I put it in the video is like I was like it's Sicko's because I covered that match. I was like it's Sicko's wife, his mom, somebody related to Sicko because next thing you know she just bop, and I'm like what the fuck, that was random.
That was funny, and that was some shit. Okay. I've been wondering how I was going to answer that question because I was, like I said, I was listening to that. That's the best just answer, huh? I might as well just say that.
Well, that explains it.
He said, I'm gonna come over and talk shit in front, bring your man over, talk shit, and beat him in front of you. And she said, oh, I'm gonna hit you. And pretty much, we didn't plan it, spot for spot, but it was manifested.
Oh shit.
He's the one that carried the truth to her. There was no weapons nowhere near the fans. The fans were not allowed near him. He took her near her, so she had the opportunity. Camera did not see this angle, but if he was there, or his old lady and my old lady almost had it out. Woohoo! She didn't know it was coming either, and they got up nose to nose, and like my group, you can see all of us in our shirts, and like they had a little circle around her, blocking, like keeping everybody separated. I mean, Deep South, we like to keep it real.
Fuck me, we got the wrestlers and the fans going at it. Holy shit.
We're not promoting. We don't promote fans entering the business. That's why I don't know how to answer the question. We don't want any John to stepping up the guardrail trying to do what we do and either hurt us or somebody else.
That's understandable.
So we don't promote this at all. Like, we all know each other. She's been somewhat, I guess you could say she's been trained. I let her hit me with a few things before, so I mean she knows how to do it. It ain't like she's been untrained. So
I respect that. Was Carnage Cup 12 your first pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view? I wasn't aware of the pay-per-view, but yes.
Oh, it wasn't a pay-per-view?
I thought it was just a live show. But I mean, it might have been a pay-per-view.
13 was a pay-per-view, so I thought, maybe 12 was.
I think 13 might have been a pay-per-view, mainly because it was live streaming on XPW.
Yes, everybody says that XPW put y'all on the spot, which I understand that.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on. And if nobody knows, we've also made it back to Title Match Network. We have our
Mhm.
13 results, our Crunchyroll 13 results, and Kings of Carnage is now on Title Match Network.
Yes, sir. I have no clue where Squirrel went, but we'll just continue. When you was on top of the building in Carnage Cup 12, where was Jamie stabbing you at? We can't really see it from the camera angle.
It was the forehead. If head forehead wasn't really painted right now, you'd probably see it. There's a scar like right there that's kind of turned into a wrinkle
Yeah, you can
now.
see like a mark right there and then right there.
Yeah, he was one of the first ones that irritated me because I'm like, don't do the forehead, don't do the forehead. And I took his light tube and he's like, no. And I was like, well, use it because it's up here, you know. So he took it and used it on me. You know, after he hit me, so I'm like, use it. You know, he's trying to make me bleed, but it just didn't work. It just didn't get the spot, I guess.
Yeah, Brian White mentioned to me that you have like a bleeding disorder, and it's hard to get you to bleed. How did Brian and Bryant White get you to bleed so good? Oh, that
Yeah, they
little
got
incident.
good. It's kind of a blood disorder. I don't know what it'd be called officially. Blood clots really fast, and when I do bleed, I bleed a lot.
I
Therefore,
seen that.
therefore, the videos of the aftermath of when I actually sat down and let it puddle up, all the different cuts, all the different holes just pouring out, it looked like a swimming pool. Like I walked through the next morning and where all the puddles was laying, I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? That's where I was laying. I mean, it's something else.
I showed one of my buddies, and I was like, "You want to see something badass?" And they're like, "I was wrestling." I was like, "It was wrestling related." He's like, "You mean this WWE shit?" And I'm like, "No, I'll show you something. That's a big man, a big man versus a little man about my size." And he goes, "Well, let me see it." And he sees Bryant once. He goes, "That ain't no motherfucking man. That's a goddamn Viking." And
Yeah,
then he sees you, and he's like, "Holy fuck!" He said, "Did he kill him?" I said, I bet you felt like he was dead that night. He goes, what do you mean? I said, let me just fast forward it to this part. And he goes, Jesus Christ. And then he goes, saying a few other words. And I'm like, yeah, that's Little Sicko in Bryant Woods. And he goes, well, I can see where he's little. He said they should have called him Little Maniac. And I'm like, this boy has done, this is just the tip of it. He's only just starting in death matches.
see, I wasn't even really that injured from that. I mean, I was stiff in my upper shoulder, like my back, my neck. It like hurt me in my neck a little bit. Um, I landed more like I was spiking than I should have been. It should have been more of a flat bump, and it wasn't. Also, the big reason why I rolled out like I did, because if I would have landed flat, I wouldn't have had the chance to roll. But I was already up, and when I was coming down, it was an instantly impact roll back over, and
Oh, yeah.
that made it hard for the finish because he already was injured and couldn't get up, and then the fact that he had to crawl to me hurt him even more. But
Yeah.
after I got up, got back to the hotel room, uh, got back to the shower, and they were sitting looking at all my cuts. I honestly don't even remember the aftermath of that. Like I went, cause I camped out that night. I went to J Blade's hotel before I found out I was wrestling the next morning, and I took a shower at his hotel. And believe it or not, his old lady has a little medic background, so she was sitting there looking at some of my cuts too. And I had like blackout. They could not get me to wake up, passed out on her leg.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high, nothing
Now
like that.
you was just in
I
so much fucking pain.
I was just.
I mean, after the human body takes so much pain, the human body does, shut down and does pass out. So,
Dude, I woke up the next morning in my tent, and I
oh,
didn't.
damn. Like, I can't get over that. I can't. That's probably one of my favorite matches for me, honestly.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for some
Oh,
more. Kevin ran more, but he said due to not necessarily profit, but more of funds. He can't. In order to continue to get the talent that he has and to put on the shows that he has been, like he's having to pay some of these guys to travel and fly and all that. And, he pays all of us pretty decent to do what we do. So, to make that happen, it takes quite a bit. So I understand that much.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm talking out the side of my neck, but maybe if he works with Rob Black, because that's what he's trying to do, we can get more Kevin and, more of Deep South and XPW.
Maybe I'd love to see it. Like I said, I've been in touch. I've been in contact with him. I'd love to make it happen. I mean, I always said I wanted to travel the world, and I come from a bottom class family. We didn't have everything.
I understand that.
I don't ever plan to. I'm gonna make the best for my family. I'm gonna live the life as the fullest. But at the same time, I want to see the world. I can't afford to travel to France. I can't afford to travel to Germany or Japan. But who's to say that I might not get booked somewhere like that?
And they pay for the shit.
Japan's got shows. I mean, Mexico's got shows. Last year at Carnage Cup, I haven't heard because I wasn't. That's the reason I actually started getting back online. Sick Boy had come to me and said that sometime within the next year or so, he's going to try to do what he could to get me and a few others into Mexico. So there's big talk of it. Nothing for sure. I'd love to make it happen. I would love to travel the world, and wrestling's going to make it happen.
Fuck yeah! I know a couple of England boys actually fuck with Jack Harrop. I know my translator. He's actually Japanese, and he's our third partner.
So let it be said for anybody who's watching out there. Any promotions that might want me, I'm willing to get my passport. Got a good price on it. I just ain't got no shows overseas that's willing. Why get it for one show? Let's see how many we can get.
I think my translator knows your name, so I know he works or he don't work, but he's good with the owner of either BJW or Freedoms over there in Japan.
Right.
So I got an interview with Takeda and Shadow WX coming up Tuesday's Takeda. So I'll have to mention you to him and see if we can't get you over or somehow. Cause
Killer one day. I mean, I wouldn't. Me personally, I'm building myself up. 23 years old. I just started the deathmatch business 3 years ago. Still in the indies. I don't know necessarily the know-how without spending money, like spending big money out of pocket that I don't have. Like, if you want to be a big indie wrestler, you're gonna have to go to a seminar. Well, this costs this money. This costs that. I'm like, I can't afford that. That's fucking 6 hours, 8 hours away. Then we on the end. I'm like, you want me to come back? I can't. Not happening. Like, I don't even bother with that. I learned more experience traveling on the road, sitting and talking to other workers than I ever have sitting, going to a seminar.
How far are you away from Tennessee?
Depends on where. I can get to anywhere from closest point Tennessee, depending on how I drive. I can get there in 20 minutes.
I'm not for sure what part, but TPW, their deathmatch company, maybe you can get in there. They got like Raven Havoc and.
I'm putting together I guess you would say like a flyer for myself, so that way it's got like it's got like 2 different pictures, deathmatch and a promo pic. As like the death picture is gonna be the background, so you can see that I'm into that kind of stuff. But it's gonna have a good picture of me posing that I can give you by itself. Then it's gonna have all of them listed as all this and that. I'm gonna send it out. I don't know who the booker is. I don't like asking around. Like I said, one day in 5 years, somebody's gonna come to me and say, "Hey, will you work the show?" It ain't gonna be like, "Hey, who's the booker of the show? I want to work. I want to come try out your show. I want to mark it on my bucket list. I don't want to be that guy no more.
I
I'll do it,
respect that.
but I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, maybe I could send my sponsor, mine and Brian's and Rebels and our sponsor over to you, and he does a lot of art graphic design, so he'll probably work with you and get you in a lot of shit. Like Vinny is off the fucking wall with his graphics.
Right. I see. I ain't never officially met him yet. I've heard of him.
I would have had him made you a flyer, but he's been going through a hard time. He's actually on the live now, and if I want to do a part two with you, so if I get a part two, I'll have him make you up a poster.
Heck yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Oh,
My phone there.
hey, sorry, I mind it too. I'll tell him when he gets back, but I ain't posting the official product yet. But this is like the first design. I have a official deathmatch design that is out, and I'm working a couple of copies printed out for test runs. It's gonna be good, and then I should have sell the next show.
Say hi, little sicko. This is the first time I ever brought her on an interview, and she's one of your fans. Like, she loves you. She loves Bryant. Say hi. Say hi, little sicko. You know who that is, don't you? But I got one last question. I'm not for sure how many Squirrel has. What is your favorite cuss word?
Fuck.
That's what Brian said it was. He said, I was going over my questions with Brian, and he was like, honestly, probably fuck. And I was like, yep, I can say that.
I mean, I get mad. It's also one of my favorite things to do in pastime. Who would do?
I feel that though. That's what's funny. I feel that. That's probably why I got two.
Yeah, I ain't far behind. But like I was telling you just a minute ago, I've got some shirts that I ain't got the official design posted yet because I'm waiting to get everything finalized. I got a couple shirts in the process of being printed, design already made. It's gonna be wicked. It's something similar to this, but it's gonna be my deathmatch design, and everything works out right. I should have them for sale at the next show, which should be May 5th. May 5th.
Are you going to be selling them online too?
Not at first. Not
God damn it. I was about to say, I'll PM you and pay you on like Cash App or something for a little
depending on how shipping and everything works. I'm still trying to figure all that out. Like, I don't want to do the whole here's the website, go buy it type deal because like I do local shows, but at the same time I want to be able to make it, for everybody.
I understand that.
Deal, trying to find a good company to go with. Like, I don't know nothing about none of these t-shirt companies. I don't know how much they're going to give you for selling a shirt. I don't know how much they're going to charge you for buying a shirt off their website. Like, if it's my design, charge me the price I charge everybody else. I mean, that wouldn't make sense. So I'm figure that all out.
Maybe you can talk to, like I said, our sponsor. He does. He's actually making our shirts. He's made Brian's, and he made the Carolina Outlaw shirt. So I'm sure you two could figure out something if you need some assistance. His mask and posters. Yes. Huh?
He's over nodding.
Sorry. My is you're still considered like you ain't been in the business that long. What advice would you being young yourself in the business, what advice would you give somebody else breaking into the business?
Slow down. Slow down. I scream that to myself every show. I'm always burning myself up, blowing myself up, tripping myself up, getting myself hurt because I'm trying to do it too fast. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. Like, I've dived 1,000 times out of the ring. I've messed up probably just as many times just because a big crowd. I'm about to run enough. No, just relax. You're gonna do it good. It's slow. Keep it steady. You'll jump out there just fine. But you don't think about it. You rush yourself through it. You think you got to do it fast. You don't. Slow down. Be patient.
That's understandable. Yep.
Yes, sir.
I noticed that you do a lot of technical tag team matches, and I noticed you do also do hardcore. Which one do you prefer yourself? Technical wrestling or hardcore deathmatch style wrestling?
I like the deathmatch wrestling because it's a bunch of fuckery. Do whatever you want, almost. You never know what's. You go technical wrestling style of wrestling like indies. Some shows are like WWE. They want to script everything. I don't want to do a scripted show. Like, I'm here to wrestle. I'm not here to read this script and act for you. Yes, we're acting, but we're also doing it as we want. I like it whenever someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I need you to do this, but I don't care how you do it." Okay? Well, I go talk to whoever. I'm like, there you don't want to do. I don't know, man. You know what? Me and him about to have the best match out of the night. And every show I've been since I've started, best show out of the night, just because we don't script things.
Unscripted matches are better. Just saying.
I can do it. I can do it. Why do I want to though?
Unscripted matches are better.
And also the feedback of the fans. If the fans are sitting there just going, "What is that?"
Exactly. Y'all want to hear it. You want to hear it.
You're waiting for it. You want that gap. You're like, oh, like me and my partners got this feud where I've feuded for his belt. Like my local show, I am the intercontinental or the exhibition champion of my show. This was my partner's belt, and he come to make a save on me. I dropped. I had to save on him, dropped him to the belt. Then when we're feuding this, and somebody jumped me, and the disto goes and gets. Guess what? I drop him again.
So,
Just
since you've had, sorry, since you've had the IWA Deep South belt for over a year, do you have it with you? Can we say it?
unfortunately, I do not.
Aye.
I told him, or actually, I took it back to him. I had said, I don't know how you plan on doing things. I don't know how you want if you want me to take the belt or not. And he, his end of the night, he's trying to get the show cleaned up or the building cleaned up so he could leave it and get his ring taken down. And I don't know if he wanted me to. I don't know if he didn't want me to. So we left it at that.
I understand that. I understand that.
Now, an unanswered question I've been waiting to hear. That have you seen that new belt that they've got?
No, I have not. I know they retired the Underground Championship,
Oh, they did.
but I haven't seen no new belt from
Oh,
Mr.
that,
Heaven. Do
I
what?
thought there was a new.
I don't know if there's a new belt, but if there is, you need to win that belt.
Let me look real quick before I mistake myself because I don't want to say I'm wrong, but I might be wrong. The one that Bryant is it the one the television belt?
It was the underground belt. So yeah, I think it was the underground television belt.
I guess so. I didn't know that. I didn't know they.
They just retired it like a day or like last
Yeah,
night, late.
I seen that, but I didn't see the post where it was retired. I don't know why they retired it. It would be good to have it.
Yeah.
They need some more They got the heavyweight and then the tag team, which I ain't complaining. I have one of the 3 belts.
Yeah, you hold all the gold. Tag team championship partners.
Well, it's one of those things. It's nice because I could say that, but in the end, no challengers, and that's in the entire time. So that's why I mentioned to Kevin. I'm like, okay, so we don't have, or I haven't mentioned to him yet. This is an idea that I've been talking up. Uh, so we got 18 belts, and if I'm not mistaken, that he said that because that it's in Circus of Chaos hands, that if one ain't here to defend it, that I could let, or Skitzo could defend it for Riot, right? So as long as there's a tag team, because we're a big faction, to defend the belt, we're able to keep the belt.
Ooh.
So there's a little loop in right there. We've achieved a loop between having the belt, right? So me and Skitzo defending the belt and a tag team death match.
Oh, yes.
That'd be
awesome.
I fucking love that idea.
if he can, depending on if he can find a tag team good enough to put us out. Depends on how the finish goes. Because the way, look, this is not guaranteed. This is an idea I have. If 2 tag teams, say just for instance, God rest his soul, the Briscoe. If the Briscoes was to come in and face us, right, and they was to put us out,
Yeah.
they would have to face each other in round 2. This is a singles tournament, not a tag team tournament. But you
Okay. Okay, so like Crimson Crown does. Okay. Or
so tag belts be
fight
on
to
the,
the death.
but yet you know
That,
tag belts be on
That'd be
awesome.
fucking good as
also.
fuck.
Yeah, it would,
That'd be
because
fucking.
that would turn 2 best friends against each other against all odds. They'd be like, "Oh, let's go get these new belts." Oh man, I didn't tell you about this stipulation. Now we got to wrestle each other.
Oh yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome too, because I mean, I ain't never seen anything like that, and I think that'd
Uh,
be a great way to introduce the tag team IWA belts into Carnage Cup. I ain't never seen
yeah.
that.
A storyline. That'd be a good storyline.
Out of all the places you have wrestled, where would you say you got the loudest crowd reaction?
Oof. Really? You would say Russell? Oh no. But I mean, it's the truth though. Okay, so there's the longest running show in Alabama that I say I know of would be ACW and Mickey Henry. You know, I'm not shouting this guy out none whatsoever. If you know anything about this guy, you know. Like if you know, you know. So I went to this show and I become a hit. He $5 to get in. He's got cheap workers, rings falling apart. You know, not knocking nobody, but it's not a show that you want to go to every weekend as a worker.
Yeah.
And I go in there and I quit going in. I broke. That's where I broke my elbow at in that video. Matter of fact, I think I could send it to you while we're on the call. Cause y'all, I mean, just y'all see that gnarly. Cause I got the slow mo of it. It's nasty,
Oh.
nasty.
Yeah, if y'all got the video, I can drop it into this video when I go to edit it. Hell yeah.
Ah, why I did that. They said what I wasn't allowed to do it. No, I can do it though. I can do it. That's a nasty video. Just thinking about it, I can't even think about it because it hurts my feelings. See, I practiced the 450 outside of matches, but I never attempted in a match. And I did at this show, and it was gnarly.
Hell yeah.
Okay, it's sending. But anyways, I took the 3 months leave, and when I come back to the show, it was not announced. It wasn't on the flyer. It wasn't on the card. Nothing like that for me to. I just showed up one night, unbooked, and he's like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it." And you're talking about that was the purest reaction I ever had, just because, like, I went back to the show that following week, and you don't expect this from a show. You really don't, and it's sad to say that when there's no responsibility to the owner when a worker gets hurt, because there's no contract, there's no liability nowhere. You can't sue the guy. So whenever I went back to the show the following weekend after I got hurt, everybody's like, "Come on, let's go, let's get out of the house." Like, I don't feel like it. I'm in a bad mood. I should be wrestling this weekend. Instead, I've got a broke elbow. So I get there to the show, and they start music and make me go out the curtain and everything. And no shit, accumulated $300 to go towards my hospital or my medical bills.
Damn.
I mean, it wasn't much, but it was more than I could ever even think. And I'm that's the reason why I'm even mentioning these guys. Like, I don't really care to go back to this place because the show's kind of run down. But it's got a good crowd and everything. It's worth it for the money. I mean, I've done been hurt there, but at the same time, I got respect for them. I really do. I mean, I don't expect that from nobody else.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, that would be my loudest pop. Would be ACW, Mickey Hendricks.
So with that being said, do you have any questions for us?
What's your favorite thing I've ever done?
Oh shit! I wasn't expecting that one. Fuck me. Okay. Your flying carousel when you face Jamie Richards.
Mm-hmm.
You chewing on the razor wire. I don't know what I can't get past that. And probably you and Bryant Woods when you got drove off that fucking UHaul. I'm sorry. I love that spot. That's probably one of. I don't know how you're gonna top that spot, but it'll probably be topped at Carnage Cup 14. I know Little Sicko's got something up his sleeve.
Up 14. I want every show to top every show.
I respect that. That's like me. I want every video that we do.
All you fans listening, keep watching. Stay tuned.
Yes, sir. I'd like to get a part 2 with you if you're alright with it sometime.
No problem. Other than that, what would you like to see do? Like, fan perspective, what would you like to see done that nobody sees possible?
You and I don't know who. I really don't. Maybe Brent Woods, but I don't know. Maybe Neil Diamond Cutter and a no rope explosion barbed wire deathmatch.
That would be cool.
The bad part is I know who would do it, but he retired.
John Rare.
You can use that. What I'm thinking. That you said explosion. I'm like, Speaking of fire, there's a fire spot I've ever done, and I thought about it earlier because I was figuring it would be a question to ask. So the spot between the fire at what was the show? Can't remember. I thought about it earlier.
Violent Shit Cup, wasn't it? With Jamie Richards.
Yeah. Okay, so Jamie Richards and Blaine Evans for the final 3. and me. And I noticed that the fire kept going out. Fire kept going out. The fire kept going out. And they kept relighting it. It wasn't going out. That's what I thought. You know, we've all known each other. I grew up in this business, and I'm more like being protected. You
Yeah.
know, I love Blaine, but I hope he gets it all whenever I get my chance, because I'm gonna, you know, show him I ain't just a kid. But it was one of those things that he was protecting me, and I all respect too, because he didn't want me to go through the fire, and I didn't know it. I did not know it. I did not know who this fire was intended for. The fire was just blazing. Each time they would light it back up, it just blaze again and getting hotter and hotter. And finally, I noticed it at the end of the match, right after the go home. And I'm fuck. This gonna look bad on Kevin if we don't hit this spot. So we ended up working into the spot right after, or right before, or after they go home or whatever. And that ended up being a gnarly little spot, that fire.
So would you like to call Blaine Evans out?
I already have.
I respect that. Yeah, he did. He laid down that open challenge.
Blaine Evans he's got his match coming. He's got his day coming.
Yes, sir.
He's there ain't no words for that one.
So with that said, I want to thank you for your time, little sicko.
I want to appreciate y'all guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed the shit out of this.
All right, no problem. When it's gonna be.